Awesome. And while we wait for others to trickle into this space, if you don't mind, and jumping into the Padlet, let's get a link to the Padlet in the chat if we haven't already. And we'll have everybody jump into the Padlet and introduce yourself on that far left column by just creating a new post and putting your name in the title and then your affiliations in the text box area underneath. All right, we've got some Credly and IBM in the house. Your ears must have been burning through conversations over the last month and a half or so. And I think we're a small enough group, actually. How many do we have in here? There's just 7 of us. So we could probably do short introductions too, if people want to give just a little background and sort of their interest in this project too. We weren't sure what the number of participants we'd have in here. So if you're comfortable hopping off mute and sharing a little bit about yourself and your interest in this project, that might be helpful too.
I can go. My name is Sherry Myrick, and I'm with ASU on an enterprise technology team. I'm a business analyst for several different projects. One of them is the Trusted Learner Network. And our director, who would have liked to have been on this call, wasn't able to attend. So I'm attending to kind of capture notes and stuff. So hopefully she'll be able to decide to participate in this, because I think this would be great for one of the Trusted Learner Network program or project that we're on.
Who was that? Was that Kate or Donna?
Kate.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, know Kate very well. She everything that ASU is doing with the Trusted Learner Network is something that is informing all of our efforts. So
it's like an overlap.
Yeah,
it's like it really, and I'm actually been trying to attend some of their AI, meetings that are through ASU, just to understand how that's going to impact this. So when she asked who wants to do it, I'm like, yeah, me.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
I'll chime in. I'm Katie. I came over from the Credly team into Pearson's Workforce Skills Division, and I am basically a credentialing subject matter expert or consultant in that team. And I am here because I've been thinking a lot about what information we need to have to be able to create a marketplace effect of sorts to help learners be savvier consumers, employers be savvier reviewers of credential data, and the role that digital credentialing platforms play in building that infrastructure. So excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Credly is definitely one of those groups that comes up often, especially when we work at Design Lab with higher education institutions and continuing education institutions that are issuing credential badge or Credly badges. They have so many questions about what to do with them, like now that they have them, where do they go? And I know that is something this project wants to explore, is how do you take a lot of that existing data that's out there, package it in a way that could then live and transfer out of one institution and into another, or into a talent marketplace or some type of opportunity space. So very glad you're here. I don't want to put others on the spot. So if you want to share, great. If not, no big deal.
Hey, I'm Say. I just was with the Advanced Distributed Learning program. And so that was, a lot of trying to bring together learning ecosystem concepts, specs and standards, all of this. And I recently left that, and I'm kind of in between and looking for my next big thing, but still very engaged with the learning engineering community. And so I wanted to participate in this.
Very cool. Well, thanks for being here. This is definitely a great place to connect with people who are doing this work in the ecosystem. There are a lot of familiar partners and people that were on the registration list that weren't able to attend today that I know are keen to apply and jump into this kind of work. So thanks for joining. So a little bit about the design session itself. We're really trying to collect some feedback on, I heard bits and pieces of the interests of you that are in this room, But what kinds of things we'll just start with this first prompt is, what are some activities that as we're going through this that we think might be helpful to test out feasibility or practicality of just the usefulness of a tool like this? Like, how would we know if an AI bot or agent has helped successfully create an LER that would have impact for an individual? And for the conversation, feel free to just add a note underneath there if you have a topic. Matthew's going to help kind of scribe some things in there too as we talk. But and maybe we need to start at a different question if there's steps before that. But generally speaking, like, how would we know that something we've created is having impact on individuals? I still haven't learned the DJing skills within the Zoom rooms for the elevator music. Matthew, is there something that the lab uses consistently?
No, but I can put on some stuff.
Wow.
Are you able to hear music?
Yeah.
Is it too loud? All right, points to whoever can guess it. But
Early Wizard of Oz prototype. I love that. I love that title.
I saw that too. Yeah.
So, and maybe just because you're in the room, Sherry, I was actually able to use Pocket at the TLN conference last year. And Timothy Summers and I can't remember the name of the other designer who's like the project manager or product manager for it. But just like having it in my hand and being able to play around with it, even though they weren't my credentials or my experiences, it sunk in with me what Pocket actually is and is doing. And I reference that experience so often in this work because that's I think where the rubber meets the road in a lot of ways. What's your role in Pocket, and what can you kind of share with us about that?
I'm not on the Pocket project. I'm on the Trusted Learner Network project.
Okay.
So it's kind of similar in the sense that it's about using a wallet for a learner to be able to bring in their wallet credentials into the TLN, and then be able to decide who to share those with, and they can bundle their different parts of their credentials to create a bundle that's specific for a school that they want to send it to, or a university, rather, institution as in a university, or an institution for work, like to share their credentials.
Yeah.
So we do have you might want to connect with Kate at some point and have her do a demo of it with you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Are there other design considerations, like when we're thinking about, working with some of these prototypes? We have individuals that like Naomi shared with the use cases, we have individuals who are ready to jump into project teams and help kind of work through some of those design elements and provide that kind of feedback. Does anyone want to share maybe a point or two from something that they wrote down, or want to discuss anything that you shared?
I'll chime in if that's okay. I am kind of learning the hard way about how to capture this data on feasibility and usefulness. In that a lot of the things I've been doing to kind of a similar end aren't built to capture the data that I'm looking for. And so I'm thinking like you're starting from scratch, like amazing. You have like full free reign to capture data about like the audience type, the like purpose of a particular credential, like what learner goals is it meant to achieve? Are the learners who pursue that credential achieving those specific outcomes? Like you can bake that in, and that's amazing, instead of having to work back and gather that data separately, either through surveys or through like focus groups or other discovery. Like I'm just very envious of where you're at right now. So I threw that bake impact measurement into product development in there.
Awesome. Well, and that's the kind of thing too. You know, there is a role for, you know, individuals to get involved in this phase and probably future phases as well. And that's something that I guess I'm curious about the Credly's approach to this and your role in some of that. Are there specific universities or like innovation teams that you all work with to do some of that type of stuff, or is that not really on the roadmap or kind of outside of Credly's scope right now?
I can speak generally about it. So my role in consulting enterprises is to like be the one that helps them do that impact measurement. So a lot of that is doing like logic models around their evaluation plan, figuring out what they're trying to, like what goals they have, what metrics are going to like be used to track progress in those goals, figuring out how they're going to capture that data, and then working with them to get that data. And so like that is kind of my role. Pearson has a team of researchers that I partner with. And so having like qual-quant researchers, like mixed methods is like really important in this context. So that's kind of like the approach we take. I don't know if that's helpful.
Yeah, it's definitely helpful. I think that's, you know, what we're trying to document here and capture are a variety of approaches, so that when we get to the point where we're doing some fidelity testing or doing some user testing in different ways, like we can try different methods and learn from people that have been doing these kinds of things in different ways. You know, I think the relationship with AI is fascinating to me in this space, and I think to this project premise, generally speaking, because it is, you know, it seems very divisive, but one thing that we can agree on is that it's very powerful because it brings to the forefront, you know, a collection of data in sort of a unique way, right? It's like the way Wikipedia was first brought into, you know, the internet, and people started using Wikipedia, but it wasn't a, you know, quote unquote scholarly source. It was still a source of information that was informing the way people think about or the way they learn about other topics. So I think having a tool like that and being able to understand or explore what those relationships are with actual people, you know, there's so many ways we can do that. So I'm going to move on to this next question. I guess we just got a 2-minute warning. So maybe one or the other. Is either one of these topics the design criteria, like the list of things, or collecting feedback on the design criteria, what that looks like, what needs to shift? Does anyone feel strongly about one or the other? Or maybe just pick one of those categories to drop some comments in. I think the collecting feedback on the design criteria, what it looks like, what needs to shift, what is missing. Maybe if you've got nowhere else to go, I would suggest dropping some notes in there on what you think this project should really consider, maybe either generally or very specifically about the way that we're building teams, the way that we're collecting feedback, the way that we are, you know, designing our project structures. Really anything, you know, would be appreciated. The Illities. Love it. We're gonna get coldly cut off here at some point. So before that happens, I just want to say thank you all for being here today, jumping into this breakout room. And if you're interested in continuing to participate, fill out an interest form. Otherwise, you'll get all the correspondence as someone who registered for this event. But just thank you for your time and for being willing to offer some feedback and jump into the conversation. And wonderful to meet you all.
It was great to meet you too.